Alright, this is a eBay pickup video and a sort of restoration video. This is a Soundcraft mixing desk. It's the Spirit Live 4, as you can see right all over it there. It's got some age to it, but it's going to be my new mix down sort of desk, mainly for home use. From my computer, I built a 16-channel analog multi-track recording PC, which you can watch in my other videos. That's quite interesting. Part 2 of that will be up soon, probably before this one is, but I'm not sure, so it depends on editing times and stuff. Now this is in fairly good condition, visibly. I can't speak for how it operates because I've not even plugged it in or anything yet. Now what I know is that it's missing the first 6 faders entirely. They have been removed. The guy that had it before me said he switched some of them around to the good faders. Oh, got a bit of a loose one there. He switched some of them around and moved the good ones here and put the bad ones, well, he took them out of there. So apparently this part of the desk is working that's here. I've obviously got to open it up and sort this wiring out before I can even plug it in because I don't want anything shorting out. I've got the power supply included with it, which is here. It's the DCP 100 plus or minus 15 volts. Camera would focus, there we go. DCP 100 regulated, it's got a phantom switch, mains power switch, plus minus 15 volt LED. Some writing and stuff on the top. Just takes a kettle type lead, IEC power, that's attached there. The wires are taped though, but that's bloody annoying because they're all sticky. But I'll clean that up. There's some tape here and we're missing a screw on the plug as well there. I'll sort that out easy enough anyway. There's the power plug, it's like a 5-pin strange sort of thing. Now we're missing quite a few screws as well, which I'm about to open up and have a look if there's anything else missing but the faders. He also gave me this bag, which here has got some washers, some screws, different types like case screws, fader screws. There's 4 of the fader caps on, or the slider tops that are in there as well. So I'm going to have to get some bits. There's also a couple of knobs missing here on this stereo channel. I think that's the only place that's missing any, which is LF, HF, and the balance / pan fader. So and the balance / so I'm missing these here, which would be grey, and yellow, judging from the other ones. All the push switches are on for the groups, the on-off, PFLs. So yeah, that's a quick overlook of it. I think I'm now going to strip take out the top screws and get inside it and have a little look what's going on. So stick around for that. Alright, inside of it. This is how we get a look, see if there's anything missing. There's the serial number. Made in England, Soundcraft Electronics. Faders are present. There's a bit of a wiring catastrophe down this end compared to the rest. All of the wires are separately taped apart though, so I think we should be good to plug it in. I'll do a few shots from a different angle in case anyone's interested. We've got A, B, C, D, M, L and MR over there. Wrote on the back of the actual fader pop things. This right here, I'm not quite sure. It looks kind of like an aftermarket add-in, but I think it might be headphones, because it doesn't have one on top and it has a headphone control. But it kind of looks strange how it's just added in there. Probably an afterthought of some kind. So hopefully we're operational. I think I'm gonna flip her over and plug it in and see if it works. Alright, this is moment of truth time. Move the screwdrivers out of the way. There's the supply, phantom's turned off. We're lit up here. And we're lit up over here. Look to be good. Press the buttons, it turns on over there. I think we're alright, people. We got lights. Mono, auxiliaries. Alright, all the LEDs work as they should do. Just got to check these meter levels, which of course means putting something through it. So I'm probably going to get my tablet and a jet lead. Oh, yep, those work as well. Sorted. Let me get a signal to send through it. Alright, we are working with the signal through. Although we are quite dodgy in terms of the sliders. They can be quite stiff. So we need some good cleaning work doing. And the right hand side doesn't seem to come out because of the fader. It will crackle and come out a bit if you do this for long enough. And the left's quite dodgy, it will cut in and out. You can probably hear it gets louder and quieter as you're moving it a little bit. So that's something to work on. Including, this is the headphones. In fact, I'm going to try a bit of switch cleaner inside of here. See if that improves it any much. Well, any at all, to be honest. If I can actually get into them. Well, it didn't do a whole lot. I've had the cleaner in there, as you can probably see. No. We aren't having none of it. So I'd say we're going to need to look at some of the existing faders as well. I will give it a deep clean tomorrow or something. I think I'm just going to run through and check all the channels and see that we get a signal from one end to the other. Alright, so I've got it going through all of them. Despite some issues, we do have some dodgy sliders. As you can see here, I'm holding them in order to make it go through. If I come off, they'll sort of die. If that's adjusted a bit. It's very dirty. Need clearing out. I've managed to get the left and right working. The right isn't perfect. It's coming through quieter because it's dirty. If I push on it here, you can see it goes louder. If I let go. But it functions. The left hand side works fine, however. There's nothing up with that and I've not even cleaned it. That's just managed to escape somehow. Turn that on. This channel seems okay. Number 3 is the most dodgy of all of the groups. You can see it just doesn't even try, so you really wobble it. The EQs all seem to work fine as well on here. No crackles in the EQs on the channels. On this channel anyway. That seems okay, the gain's alright. 100Hz roll off works okay. PFL obviously works. And this channel's actually alright, it works all the way up and down. No cutouts. Not bad. That was right anyway. Let's try the left. This is a dodgy fader. Alright, this is another day. It's a fair bit's been done since I last recorded the little bit that will actually be in one video, but still. I've removed these, which are the sliders or faders, pots, whatever, that are dodgy from the channels. So we've got the 100mm Alps mono ones, which are for the actual channels. Then there's also only one I've removed from the stereos, which is basically the same thing, but in 60mm, and of course stereo, hence the extra 3 contacts. And those are also Alps, they're just 10k times 2, these are 10k. These I have here, I've replaced. The right master was dodgy, a couple of the groups were dodgy, but I had working channels in here, and they're exactly the same. So what I've done is I've switched the working channel ones into the groups and the masters. I've got one good stereo, which is here. I've checked through all the channels. I've also printed the manual off the Soundcraft website, which is there, and stapled it together. This has also got diagrams and stuff in it, because Soundcraft are good like that. Let me throw that out of the way. I've got, at the moment, these 3 mono channels working well. The sliders are still a bit crappy, but that's just mucking them. And this one here is a good working stereo. I may have a lead on some knobs off a guy on eBay that's splitting his Spirit Studio down, and it appears to be the same knobs. It's a very similar design desk anyway. And I've checked all the channels. I've joined the wire in inside, as if, so it's set as if the fader was fully up all the time, so it just passes through it. So I can test the channels. For example, if I plug this into here, it'll work. I've checked it, they all go, all the buttons work here for left, right, group 1, 2, 3 and 4. All the PFLs work, all the LEDs work as well, on all of them, including the ones over here on the auxiliaries and the mono. That works, mono out works, stereo left right works. Returns work into here from the jacks, that's all good. This channel is a bit dodgy though, number 2, that's the only one I can find a problem with. If I plug it in, I'll show you, set it to line at the top. All the EQs work as well, all the pots are alright on the channels. If I turn this on now, put it left and right, and that's something to do with this gain knob, or it might be on the channel, I'm not quite sure yet, I'm going to have to look into that. I've only done a quick try with them on. That's what it's like. So I'm going to look into it and fixing that, but the rest seems to work fine. Get these back in here. I've checked the direct outs as well, they work. I've not checked the mics or the inserts yet, that's something to do. Let's turn this back off again, turn them all down and I know which one's what. There we go. So that's that done. These are the faders I've got to order, or find. If you look underneath, I'll pull it up, because it's still not got the bottom on. You can see the insides here. You can see how I've switched some of the faders around, and some of them appear to have been opened before. It was C, 2, 3, 4 groups were dodgy, so those have got them from channels. There's only A that's still in there that was originally there, and the master left, which is marked. Whoever's had it apart in the past has marked them. You can see here I'll have a link to the cables. The blue I believe is just a ground, and then the white and red are the top and bottom of the fader. I think that was what colour it was, I don't know, I did this yesterday. I've also linked one of the stereos out here, separately left and right. I haven't removed these 2 stereos yet though. I've just left them in there because I just wanted one out to look at it and see if I could find the parts and measure it. So there's that. Ooh, let's push this back forwards. What I need to do though next is give it a damn good clean on all of these switches and knobs and faders, because as you can see they're quite discoloured and dirty. I've got all the ones I've removed here. You You see how mucky they are and discoloured. So what I'm going to do is strip every single knob and fader off of the desk, all the caps, all the buttons, everything. I'm going to give them a good clean, and then after that I may remove each individual channel strip, give it a bit of a dust over and clean the entire top as well, because the top's quite grimy, as you can see, and discoloured in there, and it should look quite nice once it's finished. It needs a bit of a clean up around here as well. There's some bits of rust at the bottom, I could probably clean them up a bit. But yeah, that's next up, and I'm going to next strip down all of these, but first I've been looking for replacement parts. Now the Alps faders you can get on eBay, and they're about £6, £7 up to £10 a piece, and some of them are actually copy ones, they're not originals. You can, what I have found on the Soundcraft website, contact them here. It says if you're based in the UK, please contact your local dealer. However, if this is not practicable on telephone, and ask for Ralph, which I'm going to do, and see if I can get parts direct from Soundcraft that I need. If not, I may be able to get the knobs and fader caps off the guy on eBay. Here's the guy selling the slider knob tops from his Spirit Studio, and then he's also selling knobs in packs of 16, which look to be the same as mine. I would imagine they were, but I've asked him about them, asking if he's got exactly what I need and how much he'd want for the parts that I need, because I don't need 16 of them. He's also selling the Alps 10K 100mm faders, but they're used, 3 of them for £13.20. But I have found, this is on the Alps website, it's the N fader RS*N series, and they do these, which I believe are the ones I'm looking for, and these are the numbers for them, part numbers. They're single and dual, which means mono or stereo, and they travel 60mm, and they've got the T-bar fixing. They measure the same as the ones I've got now. So if I Google these part numbers, I came up to Mauser Electronics here, which sell the all of them basically. Now these are 100mm stereo faders, which should do, and they are £4.28 a piece, or £3.34 if you buy 25 plus. I'm thinking of buying 25 and replacing every single one on the desk and then having spares. These are actually cheaper than the mono ones. The mono ones are £6.50 something each, but they do the exact same job, so I think I'm going to get stereo ones. Then there's also the 60mm dual ones, which are here. Those are £3.62 a piece. I think I'm going to get 5 of them. I've added them to the basket, which is here. So I've got 25 of them, which totals at £83.50, paying £3.34 a piece. And I've got 5 of them at £3.62 a piece, that's £18.10. £101.60 in total with free delivery. So I'm going to order them. Now I originally added 25 of the mono 100mm slider, fader, pots, etc. to the basket, and that totaled at about £125 just for 25 mono ones. So that extra little bit on each one soon adds up, and I don't want to pay a hell of a lot more like that. If I get the stereos, they'll work exactly the same, and they'll be a lot cheaper. I'm saving like £40–50 on the lot. So £83.50 for 25 of them. I need 22 in total, because there's 16 channels, plus the 4 groups, which is 20, plus 2 for the masters. So that's 22. I'll have 3 spares, and then if I order the 5 stereos, I'll have enough to replace all 4 of the stereo ones and have a spare. And that cost me £18.10 for them, £101.60 in total, and I got free shipping. So I'm going to go and probably order these if I don't hear anything from Soundcraft, which is who I'm going to phone now, and see what they say.
This is where it becomes alive. Come on, put your
Well, it starts to look a bit bare, but I've got a tub full of knobs, switches, faders, you name it. There's a hell of a lot in there and they all need cleaning. I've got every single one off that I can see and think of. Only thing would be these on the jack sockets, which I'm also going to get off, I think. But I'm going to wash these first, and then I'll come back to do these whilst these are drying. Right. Okay, so this is from just pouring a bit of soap on top, washing up liquid, and some warm water from the tap. Look at the colour of that water. It is pitch black, you cannot see through it. You can't even really see the faders and things through it, because it's so filthy. And I've literally had it in probably 2 minutes max, and look at that. Yuck. I have to do this a few times over. I just put it in and like split it around like that. Let's go do it a couple more times, see what happens. Alright, I have washed through these. They're looking a lot better, and the water that came out of them and the sink was completely black once I'd finished with it. All brown and black water. They're in a box now and I put some toilet paper through it, so they should finish drying off because they're still slightly moist. And then I'm going to put them back on and clean them as I'm going through. Just give them a wipe over, since most of the muck's off them now anyway. Next up, I'm going to take all of these plastic washers off here from the jack sockets and wash them, because those are not terribly bad, but they could use a bit of a clean whilst I'm doing everything else as well. I presume there'll also be washers under them, possibly. Oh no, no washers. But I'm going to take them off and put all these in the box and clean them next. Alright, all the supporting rings that hold the jack sockets to the chassis are now out in here. And as you can see now on these, there's actually quite a bit of dirt inside of them. There we go, as you can see, there's quite a bit of dirt in them there. There's not much around the back, but it's, you know, the little cracks in the top. So these are being washed next. They're washing up liquid and hot water treatment, same as the other knobs and things I've had. Alright, I've got all the plastics washed off the jack sockets. Up next, I think I'm going to start removing channels and sections, and then cleaning the top half of the desk as I remove them, and also around these as well where the pots are, for the bits of grime that's on them. So I'm going to get to that now. Alright, now that was one big job to remove. I've got every channel PCB out of it. Ah, God. The power input's still there. I'm probably going to remove that in a minute. You can see now the rusted areas and muck that I was talking about, which I want to clean off with it when I go over now. If you look, you can see the top is actually quite dirty. All over. It's not that bad, but I mean it will easily clean up. This is the hardware that I've removed. We've got some rusted screws, which I'm going to try and replace, especially ones like this that are like full rust. We've got lots and lots and lots of nuts, some of which are rusty. I'm going to have to give these a bit of a clean and dry them off, rub them down a bit to stop it rusting. Here is every channel, group, masters, everything is here. They're all stacked on top of each other in, I think, fours or fives. There's the ribbon cable there down the side. As you can see, there's lots of them. They've all got bubble wrap and things between them to protect them all. I'm also going to clean along these, because as I said about, there's some muck in the sockets, and a couple of the sockets have they're a bit noisy when you're putting stuff in. You have to wiggle the connector around a bit, so I'm going to clean them out. I'm going to clean all of the tops of the pots and switches here, down here, just to stop rubbish getting into them, and all in all make it better. Now I'm gonna wash this down, the main chassis part, both on the outside here and on the inside, because it's a little mucky inside too. Pull it around. You can see it's a bit dirty in here, and that's not going to help, of course. There's the wiring for the powered input, which goes to a plug, and then it's earthed down to the bottom. I'm probably going to detach this handle piece here as well and wash that down. Alright, power socket removed. You can see that. I've removed this bar as well. It was just a case of loosening the nut and bolts along here and sliding it along the side of the desk. Well, what's left of the desk. You can see here where it's nice and clean, and it's also had something spilt down it. If I get it to an angle here, I don't know if you can quite see it, but it's here, it looks sticky. Like this a coffee or something, or Coke spilled down it. It's run a fair length down as well, and it's causing a bit of rust here. As you can see along here, that's what I was on about earlier. And on the inside here, it's not too bad. She wants a good clean, really. And removing that will now allow me to. So I'm just going to remove these and then give everything a damn good clean down. That'll be the next update. There's hot water and soap. Now it's time to clean all the muck off. This is a bit of a before shot, and then you can see the progress for after. Alright, now it's been a fair few days since I did anything on my mixer. Stolen bits everywhere. And today, well, yesterday actually, but I was in college, the parts I needed, the faders and things I'd ordered, have come from Mauser. They came from USA. It's took about 3 days for them to arrive, which isn't bad going, especially with free shipping. These are the 60mm ones. There's 5 of them, as you remember when I was ordering them. They're all stereos, and they'll work in mono channels as well. These are the stereo channels anyway, these ones. The proper Alps ones, if it'll focus. You can see Alps wrote on it there. 442C 10K8X2. Alright. All nice and shiny, brand new. This desk's going to be like new when it's finished. Here is the 100mm, there's 25 of those. I just pop this out. There we go. All proper Alp stuff. 515C 10K8X2. That's stereo, but all these are only going to be used as mono anyway. Put that back in. Alright, so next step is going to be to get the bits of the mixer back out on the desk and then start reassembling it, I think, because I've washed this out now. I'll give it a clean and I can start assembling. Alright, so far I've got 4 of them installed on here. As you can see, they're soldered on. There's 4 channels ready to go. This channel 2 is the one that was a bit dodgy before. I'm going to have to look into that. But I'm going to start now fixing them into the chassis, and we'll see what goes on. I wrote a little thing here for the wiring. Blue is to number 1, yellow is to number 2, red is to number 3 on the faders. And I can use either side of them. I'm going on the same side as the others were on the monos. Let's start reassembling it a bit. Alright, we are mostly assembled. We have all of the new potentiometers, faders, etc. installed. Got the power socket back in, all the groups, the masters, all the PCBs, stereo channels. Flip it around a bit more so it's in the light. The ribbon cables installed across all of them. Got enough to hold the boards in, but they're not fully installed. Power socket's back in over there just to hold it in place. Earth into the front. ground to the chassis even, headphone socket, and we're about good to flip it over and test it. I'm going to lay it down once I clear this crap off the desk and run a quick check all of them are working good. I've still got the 300mm and 160 there that were spares. There's the somewhat working old ones, the best of them really, just in case they're ever needed for it in the future. So yeah, I'm going to flip this down and try that out. Alright, some time has passed. I didn't do bits in the middle because my Dropbox was sinking and it was loading stuff. But I'm now at the mostly finished state. I have all the new faders installed. I have put all of the nuts on the pots, as you can see. That took ages. I probably spent 2 hours alone doing that, putting all of them on. Bloody hundreds of them. I've put the knobs on as they should be. I have fixed channel 2, which was making that crackling noise. That was quite easy. There was a chip out on the board, and my dad had a look at it and managed to change that out. Whilst I was still doing this, he just took the channel and did that. So that's working fine now. Coming through number 2 here, say. Sorted. Now, on top of that, there was also some issues with master left right dropping out when I was screwing on the tops of the jack sockets. Now that was these inserts here, because they were dirty. They weren't making proper contact all the time, so I basically took that strip out, stuck a screwdriver in and like cleaned underneath where the bit goes over the top of the plug in the jack socket. That the latching piece. I've scratched all the crap off it, so it's working good now. I also had that with the insert 3 for the 3rd group, but that's been sorted now. I've just done a quick whiz over them. So I've done that to the insert 3 for the 3rd group on the master left right. Also a couple of the returns and like auxiliary outputs were a bit dirty, but the easy way to clean them I found was just putting a jack plug in and putting it in and out and in and out, or getting a screwdriver and scratching to that side like this a couple of times, and then that cleaned the crap out of it. So that's all good, they're working. I've tested the mono output, I've tested all the auxiliary sends, all the inserts, the group outputs, the direct outputs, the line inputs. I've not gone across the inserts and I've not gone across the XLR mics, but I'm guessing they'll work anyway, or they might just be a bit dirty, which is easy to sort. I have cleaned all of the switches, knobs, pots, everything. You can see it looks a lot better than it did. They're all nice and clean. I am missing though 2 white ones here. Now I may be able to get them from that guy off eBay. I need to send him a message back, so I might get them too, hopefully. And then I also need 2 grey knobs for the EQs on the stereo, and the yellow one for the balance or pan on this stereo. And then we are done and back as it was. The only thing I've got left to do now is to sort out this wire going into the power supply plug here, and then open up the power supply and give that a clean out inside because it looks quite mucky as well. I may also be sanding down in here to get the rust out and then spraying it with primer. Then I also need to do something about this, which is quite hard to get the dirt out of. It's the hand rest off the front. Now I've tried hot water and soap and it's still not all coming off. I may end up respraying it, like scratching it down with a wire brush and respraying it if I can't clean it somehow, and then I'll maybe spray it grey or black, one or the other. Alright, starting the power supply. Right here I've done the cable, put a screw in it from a computer and tipped it around properly so it stays in. Here's the power supply to be cleaned and dusted out. It's a bit dirty as you can see, and It just smell a bit. So I'm going to brush all the dust out of it and put it back together. Alright, it's been some time since I've done any updates with this, a couple of months actually. I've had the desk up and working fine for a little while now actually, but I haven't had the chance to actually finish off this video. I've just now started to arrange it on the computer, right here. I'm literally up to this part now, and then I'm going to put this into the video and then get it out and uploaded. So yeah, that's that. A few things have changed since, well, the last update. The desk's been in use regularly on gigs, going out, so I had to finish it off without obviously having the time to make the videos. So I'll go over what I've done. With the screws that I had left, I have put in them. I think there's 4 missing from the back, which you can't obviously see, and it holds it together strongly as it is anyway. I'm not sure if these washers were supposed to go there, but I've put them there anyway. They were in with the screws. I managed to source the knobs, the 2 greys and the yellow there. I got the white fader caps as well here from the guy off eBay. I think it was £4 with postage, so I sent him a fiver anyway and thanked him for that. So thank you very much to whoever that was. I bought them off on eBay. This here is just a multi-core coming from the computer. Let's get rid of that. So yeah, everything is up and running fine. All of the channels are fine. All the mapping's fine. The in and outs are fine. What I have changed as well since the last video, the last part of this video, when I was having issues with the inserts on the groups and the left-right insert, which is in the dark there and you can't really see it, but left-right insert, I've actually changed those out now with brand new connectors because of the issues that they were coming back now and again. So I mean, the channel inserts are okay, so it must have just been covered there or something and this end was left exposed to get dirty. However, the returns and the auxiliaries and the groups outs are all fine, so it just seems to be the inserts that got the problem. I've changed them out anyway. I managed to find the pieces. So like these are some of the old ones here. As you can see, they're quite dirty and aged. That might be better. See, they're quite aged and discoloured. I'll leave one of them there for a comparison. Now, I did actually end up resorting to using this at one point, which is out of some rubbishy old SoundLab little DJ mixer thing, because it had the smaller legs on it. If you see how thin the legs are on that, that's the size of legs that these sockets require, and it's a stereo with the headphone output. But that's obviously not in anymore now. I've got the proper connectors. This is another old one, I think. Yeah, that's old one. I did have some of these jack sockets, but obviously if you look at how big the legs are on those in comparison to the originals, so yeah, I did try cutting that down. I got to the first leg and then I give up when the second one I started on. I was like, forget this. So that's when I ended up putting that SoundLab thing in, just to piece it up for the time being. Here I've got some spares as well. This is jack sockets, which I got from CPC. There's the order code should you want to order some. Let's have a look in here. Now you'll tell straight away, look at how shiny they are compared to the others. These are Reen branded ones. I don't know where the branding is on them. Okay, it doesn't seem to have the brand name wrote on it, but they're Reen ones. They've just got China wrote on them, where everything's made nowadays. But if you look at that compared to that, and look at the colour difference, and how faded and covered in crap this one is. But they've got the exact same size, shape, spacing, you name it, they're identical. So they're just a perfect replacement. So yeah, I've got 4 of these left over in case I need them for channels if they start acting up at any point, and the group inserts and left right insert. Let's put this back in the bag. I've got here all of the knackered, like really dodgy faders from the desk. These were the ones that were not even any real use, but I've left them in here just in case they're needed for anything. I'm not quite sure what this is. I don't think it's actually off this desk, but it's in there anyway. So that's all that. And now the desk is up and running fine, basically. Just throw these in here. So yeah, that's that, and I think that's about the end of the video. I've resprayed. Oh, I used a wire brush and I scratched all of the paintwork off here. You can see it's getting a bit worn because I haven't got a flight case for this and it's been going on gigs. But I scratched all the paintwork off, the original paintwork. I didn't completely get it though, as you can probably see here. There's like a bit of a texture in it, where there was some bits of the old paint. But then I sprayed it black because I thought black was a nice colour between. It sort of sticks out at the bottom with the rest of it being grey. And it's the handrest anyway, so it's got this like little splash kind of effect on it from where it's been sprayed, and that's quite nice. And that's sprayed all the way around as well. I've cleaned these sides and everything inside and out, completely dismantled them. I've sprayed the inside as well of the base after sanding it down with a wire brush. So I scratched all of the paint off it, used some sandpaper as well, and then I just sprayed it with a couple of layers of primer, so that's to stop the rust spreading or getting any worse inside. Other than that, I think that's pretty much everything. She's back working and about as good as she was when new, with some minor sort of bits of wear that it's picked up over the years. But it is really, everything is perfect. The faders are perfectly smooth. There's no issues at all. You can see it's actually already still labelled from the last gig. It's now actually the 22nd of December. The last gig it did was on the 5th. And then it's going to have one just after, well, coming up in about a week or so. There'll be another gig as well that it's going to. So it's getting regular use. All the direct outs have been working fine as well. I've been recording it, all 16 channels out to the PC. I'll attach a video on the end of it actually out on the last gig on the 5th that I did. Because I did take a quick video of the desk and the PC. I'm now running Avid Pro Tools though instead of Adobe Audition on my PC for MIDI AW. That's because of we're using it more on my degree course that I'm going through. So it helps me, you get used to it I guess. And it's there, so I may as well use it. Anyway, thank you for watching. I think that's about everything. If anyone's got any questions or comments or feedback or anything at all, feel free to leave those below. I think that's about it. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I may do more things like this in the future if this gets some good feedback, and subscribe for more things like this I guess, because it's something I'm going to look at going into. Thank you very much for watching and see you again soon.
There we go, bit of asphalt, who cares?